All right, guys. So we got to talk about an extremely heartbreaking story. A story that, quite honestly, we just should never hear about in a sane country. I feel like I do a story like this almost every day about stories where we shouldn't hear about in a sane country. But unfortunately, we don't live in the same country. We actually had to go out to Cocoa Puff World, California, Glendale, California, to be more specific, to talk about a video that's going viral of a special needs student, a special needs girl that got in trouble at school for misgendering a teacher using the wrong pronouns. And not only that, this special needs girl does not dress out for PE because male staffers are always in the girls' locker room. Okay, so this special needs student is getting punished, aka ignored, by teachers because they use the wrong pronouns. And also, allegedly, they're not dressing out for PE because they're males in the locker room. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip of this student giving her testimony to the city council. Take a look.
I got in trouble one time for calling this girl, Kenny, a girl. I said, well, Kenny and I used the word she when I was using my assignment because we were working together. I was also in the girls' locker room. I don't like to dress that at all, and that's not okay. Well, I got in trouble for it because I did not dress out in front of other people. I didn't dress out for many reasons. One, there's male teachers inside of the girls' locker room talking to my Miss Lewis. They go to the girls' locker room, and then there's Miss Lewis' office. Miss Lewis has her door open, and then there's male teachers inside of her office. I never wanted to see that. That's why I don't dress out to PE. I was scared. I was terrified, and then cause I was afraid of somebody staring at me, an adult male, staring at me while I'm changing. That's why I don't change. And then it was another issue. I am in the special ed classes and I have a one-on-one aide. My one-on-one aide was Cameron, but they called him Cam. I guess I was mistaken or corrected by calling Cameron Miss Cam. My parents had always taught me that adults, a male is Mr. and their last name or their first name. Female is Miss or Mrs. if they're married and of their first name or their last name. With Cameron, I called him Miss Cameron because I saw the breath. I'm not saying that I can see what their private parts are because that would be kind of weird. I saw breath. I called him Miss Cameron. Many times, more than one time, I have been ignored by my own teachers because I called them by the wrong pronoun. I've always been ignored by calling Cameron a miss instead of a mister. I wasn't exactly sure what that was because I wasn't raised like that, so I called Cameron Miss Cam. They didn't like to call him Cameron, but it was Miss Cam. My parents taught me if they're confused, just call them by their first name. I always thought that was disrespectful. I called him Cameron.
Hey, I'm sorry that your 5 minutes is up.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Thank you for sharing with
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so you guys seen that, you heard that. Extremely heartbreaking story because it really does show you how crazy our world has become, where you have parents who clearly has raised this young girl in the right way, teaching them how to be respectful to adults, okay, how to address adults by Mr. or Mrs., last name, if you don't know their last name, first name, or whatever, and that backfiring, right? This student being punished because allegedly, again, we only have the testimony of the student here, but allegedly, the teacher is so narcissistic that they don't respond to the special needs student because the special needs student is misgendering this teacher. Now, in this case, this teacher seems to be biologically female, but they probably, identify as a boy or a man or whatever. And this special needs student, because they understand basic biology, okay, they see breast, they're like, I'm going to call this person Miss, okay, or Miss Cameron, Miss Cam, or whatever. Apparently, again, the teacher, the narcissist teacher here, didn't like that, okay, and the teacher chooses not to respond to the special needs student because they're being misgendered, right, or misgendered, right, if that's what you really can call it. They're not being called by the proper pronouns or their preferred pronouns. Again, it's a really sad story. It really is. Okay, because who needs come first? Does the needs of the special student come first, or does the needs of the narcissistic teacher come first? Somebody tell me, right? Who are we prioritizing here, right? Because it seems to me that there is a certain group in society whose needs are prioritized over everybody else's needs, including, students that you could characterize as special needs or, disabled or whatever, right? I mean, is this a form of bigotry, right? Ableism, I guess, is that what you would call it? Okay, who knows? I'm just saying, this is a story that you should never hear about, okay? I mean, again, this is another example of how this ideology has gotten too extreme, to the point where even disabled students, if that's what you want to call this girl, or special needs students, have to capitulate to something that they know fundamentally doesn't go along with what they've been taught, okay? It doesn't go along with the reality of the world that they experience. It's crazy. I mean, they already have to deal with enough, okay, considering their condition. Now, on top of that, they have to go against reality, which is something that I would probably find to be hard to deal with if you are a special needs student. I feel like there are more pressing things that they need to deal with on a day-to-day basis than trying to keep up with the preferred pronouns of teachers. Not only that, we got to talk about how this student doesn't even feel comfortable dressing out for PE, I'm assuming, okay, or dressing out in the locker room, dressing down or whatever, because apparently there are males in the locker room. Now, it sounded to me like, from what this student was saying, is that the female gym teacher's office is in the locker room, and apparently male teachers are allowed to just go into the locker room to go into the teacher's office, which to me, I mean, I don't understand why would male teachers or male adults want to go into the female locker room, okay? I mean, even if, again, there's another teacher in there, I don't see the reason for why they would want to go in there. Why would they even be comfortable doing that, right? But again, this student is so uncomfortable that she's like, nah, I'm not going to dress out for PE, okay? I'm not going to dress out for PE. Again, it's a shame what some of these students have to go through. It's a shame what these girls have to go through in schools in the name of gender ideology. It just really blows my mind that time and time again that we're seeing these stories about how the needs of people who adhere to gender ideology, whether they be kids or adults, their needs are put above everybody else's in society, including apparently students with actual special needs, okay, that actually need extra help or that may have some disabilities. Apparently their needs take a back seat to everybody else, right? It takes a back seat to gender ideology. Again, it's absolutely amazing. Again, this should be investigated. Apparently there's going to be a school board meeting where people are going to speak out about this, but this should definitely be investigated. There should be zero tolerance for this. If teachers are actually ignoring a special needs student because the teacher is being misgendered, that teacher has to go, right? There should be zero tolerance for that type of discrimination and cruelty, really, because that's what it is. Okay, it's discrimination and cruelty because, again, the teachers is narcissistic, right? Their gender ideology and their worldview, they are making a priority over actually doing their job, which is to educate these students. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.